going on right now in the world, you all. Everybody is talking about this EBT, food stamp benefits, that is due to end this Saturday, November 1st. What are you all thinking about that? How are you feeling about that? And listen, you all, I want to know if you know of some organizations that will be donating free food, or if there are any food pantries that you all know of. Please drop that information in the comments so that we can make sure that we get this information out to as many people as possible, because we definitely want to help. Because here's the thing, in my opinion, look, ain't nothing about it, there's nothing funny about people going hungry. Nothing funny about it at all. We see a lot of memes and a lot of mean things being said, a lot of mean, disheartening content being shared and created in regards to the people, possibly going hungry. I'm just like, right, wrong, or indifferent, whether you feel like people are taking advantage of the system or whatever that is. I understand that. I can respect how you feel. Listen, I think a lot of people can respect how you feel. I'm a taxpayer, I pay tax, but I'm not complaining about that because we have no control over it. Listen, you're paying taxes, they doing whatever else. Listen, food stamps is a small fraction of your taxes are being distributed to the food stamp program. The rest of your taxes are being blown on other frivolous things. So if we're going to complain about our tax dollars being wasted, I mean, like, why start there? I mean, there are hundreds of things that we could complain about our tax dollars being wasted on, besides, food stamps, if we really wanted to go there and say, oh, our tax dollars are being wasted. My concern is people. Like, where is our compassion? Like, I don't want to see anybody go hungry. So I'm hoping that a solution is reached, so that people don't have to go hungry. Because again, a lot of people depend on on this food stamps and the EBT. And if you're not one of those people that depend on it, thank God. Like, be thankful that you're not one of those people that depend on it. Be thankful. Don't sit up here and, oh well, now, please, I don't get no link, so you can sit up, you can sit high and look low because you don't get the link card. It's so many people out there that need that. There's so many seniors out there. There's so many homeless people, so many mothers, listen, with kids. And before, listen, I've seen some of the most disheartening videos and things of that nature regarding, oh well, go find them baby daddies, and do all. Look, you all, this is not the time for that. Like, seriously, it's not. And for those that are making those videos, the dudes that are making those videos, I hope that your kids are not recipients of food stamps. Because guess what? While you're out here talking about some, well, I guess she gonna need that $40 now. I guess she gonna take that. Just make sure that your kids are taken care of. How about that? Amen. Let's make sure that your kids are taken care of before we go jumping and, and just making fun of this potential situation. So again, if you know of any food pantries or any programs that are going to be giving out food, please drop it in the comments, because we definitely want to be a help to as many people as possible. So if you have some information on programs and things of that nature, then please definitely do that. Just help us reach out, so that we can get this information to as many people as possible. Because again, there's nothing funny with people going hungry. It's really not. It's not a laughing matter. It's a sad situation, to be in, because again, there are so many kids out there. Like, we're looking at the adults and we're looking at it from that standpoint. It's already bad enough. Do you know how many kids go to school without eating? Do you know how many kids go hungry without go to school hungry? And this is before the food stamp crisis. Do you all know the numbers to that? Millions of kids go to school every day hungry. So imagine how worse it's going to be when this stop for the EBT happens. Again, look, we can sit here and blame, oh, well, if you would have let this person in versus, okay, listen, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how can we help right now in the present situation that we are in. How can we be a help one to another? That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, it's the people that voted for, look, whatever. What doggone ever. How can we help? We want to prevent people from going hungry. And how do we do that? So again, if you know of any organization, if listen, churches, Pastor Marvin Winans. Listen, I hope, amen. I hope that since you were asking people for $2,000 last week, so I'm hoping that you're giving the people $2,000 this week. So I'm hoping that these big churches, because see, this is what you're here for. This is what the church is supposed to collect tithes and offering for, to help the people. The people are going to need your help, churches. This is the store. This is the meat for the storehouse. This is what the scripture is referring to. It's not referring to you having a private jet and a Bentley and a Rolls Royce and minks. It's not that. It's the storehouse. So churches, I'm hoping that you all are going to make sure the storehouse has meat in it. It's so many different programs. If you all have your 5013C numbers, that means that's a tax deduction. That's your tax exempt. You are set up as a non-for-profit. Go down here, get this free food, and serve the community, serve the people. But again, people are really going to need, if this happens on Saturday, people are going to need assistance with food. And I'm hoping that we are all able to come together and make sure we can help as many people as possible. So again, if you know of an organization, if you know of a church, if you are a part, if you're with a church, if you're partnered with a church, and you have a program or you're going to be passing out food. I know I've seen several people saying that their churches are going to be passing out food. They're going to be doing giveaways and having food pantries. There's a lot of food pantries opening up and things of that nature. Then drop that information in the chat. But again, it's a sad situation if this actually takes place. A lot of people will be affected by this in a negative way. And again, to me, that's no laughing matter. It's no joking matter. It's no funny matter when somebody is going hungry, especially innocent kids. Like, I just don't think that it's not fair. It's not fair. It ain't cool at all. So again, if we're able to, definitely drop that information, because we want to be a help. Listen, this is what we do this for. We don't just come on. Listen, I talk and I love to have fun and I love to kick it with y'all, and we are going to kick it during this show. But I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment out to just speak from the heart and just listen. We got to take care of each other first. So I would be remiss if I did not come on and mention a huge thing that could be affecting a lot of people coming very soon. So please, 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 if you have not done so, please, if you know some information, and listen, depending on how long this goes, so I'll be looking, for over the next week or whatever. But if this goes for a while, then I will be putting together my own food drive so that I can get out there in the trenches and, set up a place where we can go either volunteer at some of these food pantries, or set up if you all want to donate and we can buy food and do something like that. So I'm gonna monitor how long this thing goes, but I may roll that out sometime next week if this thing really happens. I'm hoping and praying that it does not. But if it does, then we'll definitely set up something so that we can come out and be able to assist the people, because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. I mean, it's fun and dandy, sitting here all cute. I got this. But at the end of the day, listen, I was brought up, I'm a worker, I'm a helper. That's where my heart is. I am a server. I love to help people. Now, listen, I'm not going to say that I don't get agitated in the process of helping, because you know what? Some people just listen. I fed the homeless and helped the home, but some of them not right. And I'm not going to lie to you. Everybody that you try to help, they're not going to have a gracious heart. They're not going to have a gracious spirit. So whenever you're doing things like this, make sure you do it from your heart and do it because that's something that you want to do. But baby, some of these folks will show out so bad you will never want to do anything again. Listen, feeding them for Thanksgiving, and all kinds of stuff. We'll share some stories, at a later time, because right now I don't want to discourage anybody from giving. But just know that some of these folks can be a TRIP, and I said it. Some of these folks can be okay, but we're not gonna focus on those. If you know of an organization that will be giving, or a church that will be giving out food, if you know of any food pantries, please drop that information in the comments, and drop it, paste it on the post it on the Jaye Spot page, post it on the YouTube page, post it on the Instagram page, post it on all of our pages, so that we can make sure we get this information out to as many people as possible. Now listen, you all, speaking of information and people as possible, every now and then, listen, people just never, and I mean never, cease to amaze me. And listen, we're going to go ahead. Our first hot topic. Last week we talked about why Tyrese should not be dating and why he doesn't need a wife and all this other stuff. So this week we're going to talk about Tyrese's partner in crime, and this brother is just as loony and touched as Tyrese is. We're talking about none other than Ray J. You all, listen, Brandy, Miss Sonia Norwood, get your son. Get your son. This brother is out of control. He's performing somewhere, and he's on there saying, well, I'm married, but we've been legally separated for 2 years. So I'm single and I'm looking for somebody. No, 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 no. Ray J, I love you like a play cousin, but you need to sit on somebody's couch. Listen, how many women how many women do you intend on destroying? Ladies, now listen, if anybody is brave enough to deal with Ray J, then I think that you're setting yourself up for this. You're setting yourself up for this foolishness right here. Oh, you gonna take this foolishness right here. You gonna take this. Because this brother, listen, the saying one flew over the cuckoo's nest. How about the whole cuckoo's nest just flew away? That's how we would have to describe Ray J. Because listen, this is nah, bro. Nah. This ain't what you want to do, big dog. You may want to sit this one out right here. He's gonna have to sit this one out, because he's the example of damaged. He is a damaged dude, and I'm not making fun of. And you know what? Listen, truth be told, he has some mental issues that he has to work past. Like, he seriously has some issues. Listen, everything does not connect all the way at the top for this brother. The elevator, it makes that squeaky sound. It makes that sound. And again, you have those around him. I believe that some people trying to help him. I believe his mother and his sisters may be trying to help him. But you know what? When you get to that point and you just don't want to listen. Right now, he's rogue. So what does he need? He needs a 60-day stay, preferably in the same facility where they're gonna put Tyrese at. That's what we need Ray J at. And then they need some 24-hour care, 24-hour counseling. But he needs some help. That brother needs some psychological help. And again, I think that he has some issues resolving. He has some issues from childhood. I really believe that he has some childhood issues and some things that need to be addressed, because the way he carries on is ridiculous. But Ray J, no, nobody is checking for you, boo, until you get yourself together. Because again, if you are willing to walk into this foolishness called Ray J just because he Ray J, you setting your listen. Know when to say when, know what situations to get in, and know what situations to say, you know what? I ain't even going. It's not even I can't even deal with this. And listen, ladies, I know we love to take on a project and we like to fix people. This brother is not fixable. He needs some professional help. He need the kind of fixing that he needs to be in a straight jacket, and he needs to talk to somebody that can prescribe him a prescription and get to the root of his problems. It's not you laying down beneath him and doing all kinds of freaky, disgusting stuff. He's had enough of that. He's had enough of that. So he needs somebody that he can really, really talk to. And again, I don't know him, but just the way he carrying out, I'm, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. And again, he seems like his family done tried to talk to him. But listen, you can't make grown folks do what they not gonna do. You just gotta let them wild out and do whatever they're gonna do, and just hope that they eventually come back to it. Hopefully they just get themselves vet and then get it all together. But Ray J, you don't need no wife. You don't need no woman. Ray J, you are damaged goods, brother. Right now, you are no good to anybody. Plus, you got a wife. You got a whole wife. Like people talk about situations to avoid and red flags. This man is a red flag. He has a whole wife, and he's admitting that he loves her, which will lead to our next hot topic. So, would you advise, and is it advisable, is it cheating to date someone that's married but they're separated? And if so, is that ever a good idea? You feeling this person, they've been separated for a while. So you're like, okay, man, he free game. He's separated. He been separated from his wife for 2 years, 3 years, but now they're legally married still. So you guys go ahead and you start seeing each other, and you start doing your thing or whatnot. Now, what happens when you catch feelings and you ready to take things to the next level, but he can't take things to the next level with you because he's not available? He's not free to take things to the next level because he still has a wife. Jay, what you mean he can't take? He grown, he can do whatever he want to do. Okay, well, according to the law, he can't, because polygamy is not recognized in the United States. So if this man has a wife, how is he going to take anything seriously with you? So be mindful, ladies, because a lot of times, listen, we set ourselves up for this foolishness. You will go in this, I'm going to leave my wife. I'm going to divorce her. I'm going to divorce her. When, Cletus, you get up in there and you get your feelings hurt, and he dragging his feet for the divorce. Think about it. Why do you have to convince and beg somebody to get a divorce? That's not your responsibility. That's not your job to beg someone or convince someone to get a divorce. That's not your responsibility. You have to let people take care of their own responsibilities. And I'm always of this this is always my feeling. Stay out of people's relationship. Stay out of people's marriage. You can't. How you telling him? Well, if she was doing what she was supposed to be doing, he wouldn't be over here with me. Well, if you was doing what you was supposed to be doing, you wouldn't be having to beg him or try to convince him or give him an ultimatum to get divorced, because he would have already came to you whole, healed, and ready to go if you were doing what you were supposed to do. So it's always so funny how we're being on the outside looking in, and it's so easy to blame the spouse, but it's like you don't know what's going on. So always be mindful. In my opinion, I would not, for me, because I would always be thinking like, yo, they can always rekindle this relationship and get back to, listen, they can always get back together. I know some, listen, done went back, done had many a wives, and now they get back with one of the first wives. Or listen, they get back with some, it happens. Don't think that because people have been separated for years that they don't come back together. Some people come back together when that love is real. Those people come back together, and you definitely just want to make sure that you are not the person that is in that rebound type ish situation, because people do come back and they go back to what they consider their first love. So don't be in the situation where you are sitting there, you're waiting. Oh, but he said he gonna divorce her. He just saving up for the money. If he don't have the money to get a divorce, then he don't have a money. He don't have the money to be out doing other things. Because here's the thing: if he can buy you all this fancy stuff and he can wine and dine you, you mean to tell me, so you have disposable income to do that, but you don't have the disposable income to divorce this wife that you said you really didn't want, or you didn't really want to be there with her. You don't have that, you don't have that, the disposable income for that. So in my opinion, if you're married is married, and so I would just have to leave you over there, and you just gonna have to miss me with that bull junkie, because again, I'm not about to put my heart on the line and be playing these Tom and Jerry type games with you, and you over there, you straddling the fence. Because to me, at that point, you are definitely straddling the fence, because you have the opportunity to divorce and handle your business and have your front door swept around, and you should come to me whole and healed. And that's, ladies, gentlemen, that's what you should want. You should want people to come to you whole and healed. I don't want no half stepping. If we've been separated 15 years, that's even more of a bigger red flag. Wait. So you mean to tell me y'all been sliding around here for 15 years and ain't nobody bothered to get a divorce? Why not? Oh, it's cheaper to keep. What? How is it cheap after 15 years? So he can just come back. She can just come back after 15 years. I don't know. People do it all the time, but for me, you have to know yourself, know what you're getting into, and just know that if you dealing with somebody that belongs to somebody else, there's always a chance that it's gonna be some ish, and it's not. You could end up on the losing end of that stick, and then if you are on the losing end of that stick, can you really be mad at that person? Because you already knew. So if you're willing to take a gamble with your heart, then listen, by all means, baby, take a gamble with your heart. But listen, it's bad enough out here just dating people that say that they're single, and you got to deal with that. And then you want to add an extra layer to it with them being separated. Thank you. But no, thank you. You're gonna have to count me out. That bull junkie, count me totally out, because again, in that situation, you are setting yourself up for failure. You definitely are, because again, there are no guarantees. They're legally still married to somebody else. So these are the type of situations that happen. Like, people have been separate, they're separated, but they've been married for all of these years, but they've been separated for a number of years. And then somebody passes away. And then everybody gets mad. The current partner gets mad when the legal spouse comes in and claims everything. And then you look at the legal spouse like they're wrong and like they owe you something, but they don't. They don't owe you anything. The person that passed away, that failed to handle their business legally to ensure that you were taken care of, that's the person that owes you something. That's the person that you should be upset with. You shouldn't be upset with the spouse, because they're doing what is in their legal right to do so as a spouse. As his spouse, this is still my house. Y'all haven't been, that B know they ain't been together for 20 years, 15, 20 years. Now she gonna come over here and try to put me out of my house. At. What does this paper say? This paper says that you are a lie. This paper says that this is mine. All of this is mine. All this ish in this juke joint is mine. That's what the paper says. So we gotta stop. Listen, marriage is a business. It's big business. It's love too, but it's like we have to understand it's both. It is both. If you are signing your name on that dotted line, it's to protect your assets. It's to tell the law who gets what. And then when you get a divorce, listen, that's business too. So it's just like, we have to be conscious of both angles of marriage and relationships, and especially if you're living together and you know that this person already has a spouse out there. For me, I just know me. I wouldn't be comfortable because I would always be thinking somebody gonna come and pull the rug from up under me. That's how I be feeling. I'm like, man, anything could happen. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. She can get anything. He can be, listen, let's say, God forbid, they don't pass away. Let's say something happens to them. Now they're unable to make any decisions. Now they need to stay alive. And you got to sign that form, that DNR, that do not resuscitate form. Oh, honey, listen, this ish gets messy. I'm telling you, it gets messy. The family wanting to keep you alive, because it's a chance. Oh, but then they have to call up the old bitter one. Oh, yes. And your life, fellas, think about it like that. Ladies, think about it like that. Those that are out there that are still living, you are separated and you've been separated for years. If nothing else lights a fire under you and makes you want to go and get a divorce and separate yourself from that person, think about this. If something were to happen to you and you needed your life to be saved, you needed consent for an emergency blood transfusion, only the spouse or the next of kin can do that. The hospitals will not recognize your girlfriend or your boyfriend. They won't recognize your boo. But they have to reach out to the old bitter one that you're still legally married to. And just what if they decide not to even bother to show up and sign off on anything to save your life? Do you really want your life, your well-being, to be in the hands of a bitter ex? So that is a big reason on why you need to divorce. If you're going to be separated, either divorce or work it out. But don't straddle the fence, because that straddling the fence is a very, very dangerous place to be because, again, people are not right. Like, they'll wait. Listen, I've seen some stuff. I've heard some ish. Oh, he didn't do right back. Oh, he didn't do nothing, but she didn't take care of her kids. Now you can't even have nobody bury you. Now they won't sign off on no funeral ish. Now they won't sign. Look, all kinds of stuff people do being spiteful. So listen, being divorced, being separated and being out there in these streets, always think of and we don't, but that's why I'm talking about it. Let's think of the legal ramifications behind, that whole being separated thing, but not being legally divorced, because again, at the end of the day, people may not want to look at it like this, but your life is in the hands of your ex. Well, they're not your ex, but your life is in the hands of the person in which you're still legally married to. So just think long and hard about that situation, because at the end of the day, people are not right. Now listen, you all, speaking of people are not right, what do you all, Rhonda is saying first, I'm sorry, Rhonda on YouTube, she's saying, I will post this on your page. Thank you, Rhonda. She said, if that person is still legally married, I would steer clear. I totally would steer clear, because again, it's just it's too messy. It's too messy. And at the end of the day, you have to look out for your best interest, because when you're dealing with somebody that is married or separated, there are no, first of all, there's already no guarantees, but there are already, listen, 10 toes down, ain't no guarantees over on that side of the fence. Now listen, speaking of that side of the fence, what do you think about this statement, you all? This lady says she calls out single successful men for not wanting to date single moms. She says that, she's calling them sassy because they don't want to date a single mom. She says that they're scared of responsibility and they're sassy because they choose not to date a single mother with kids. So what do you think about some women and some single mothers being upset at successful men, as she called it, because this is what she said, successful men for choosing not to date a single mom? Do you all think that that's wrong for this man to say, you know what, listen, I don't date single moms, I don't deal with it, and are they sassy? Are you like with this lady? She's saying that they're sassy. So is a man sassy because he doesn't want to date a single mom? Here's the thing. For me, everybody has a preference. That's his preference. Is he wrong for that? No. Like, look, lady, you chose to become a mom. So it's your responsibility. We have to stop making it seem like everybody is wrong just because you are not their preference. Everyone is entitled to have their preference. I enjoy drinking coffee. I don't like tea, but some people love tea. Does that make them wrong? No, that's their preference. Does me drinking and loving coffee make me? No, it's my preference. Ladies, we gotta stop beating these men up if they decide that they don't want to date a single mom. Listen, I'm not justifying it. I'm not bashing it. I understand. Look, it's a huge responsibility. Let's just call it what it is. It's a huge responsibility. If you have a man that does not have any kids, and then you're bringing an extra responsibility to the situation. You're bringing an extra responsibility to the equation. And he's not responsible for that. He's not wrong for that. He's not. And if he knows that, listen, I'm at a place in my life, this is not what I want. He's not wrong for that. Let's stop getting in our feelings. Oh, I'm all that. He missing out on this. And okay, you all that. But you're not all that for him. Because he don't want what you have. He don't want, and he's not wrong. He's not sassy. He's making an informed decision and saying, you know what? This situation is not for me. This situation is not for me. So I'm going to say, I'm going to pass on that. I'm going to pass on being with a single mom. And guess what? He has every right to feel that way. Every right to feel that way. So again, is he sassy? Absolutely not. He's making a decision that he feels is best for him. And he knows that, ladies, when men say this, listen, let's not get all bent up out of shape and get in our feelings. It's not the situation for him. Rhonda is saying, a single and successful man is not sassy for not wanting to date a single mother. Maybe he just wants to start a family with a woman without children who will become his wife. That part, Rhonda. That part. And we have to stop making it seem like these men are wrong for wanting that. They're not wrong. That's the way that it should be. It's not his fault because you went and you had a baby. And I'm not saying that your kids was that. Look, everybody's situation is different. But at the end of the day, one thing that we know is he controlled his fertility because he didn't shoot off any kids. So he made the decision and said he's not ready for kids. He's not ready for his own kids. So therefore, he doesn't have to accept you and your kids. Does that mean that you're not a good catch? It doesn't mean that. It means that you're not a good catch for the man that says he doesn't want to date a woman with kids. So when you hear that, stop taking it as, oh, all is lost. And all. It's not. That gives you the opportunity to move on to somebody that is looking for what you have to offer, for what you bring, for your whole situation. Listen, it's somebody out there. I'm telling you, it's a whole lot of somebody's out there. It's a whole lot of somebody's out there. So let's stop jumping on the somebody that this particular setup is not for. We can't be bashing people and trying to make people feel bad, and shaming them because your situation. Oh, I'm a single mom. Listen, I have a kid out of wedlock. I'm a single mom. My son, although my son is grown, but at the end of the day, I understand the dating situations. Well, I'm gonna kind of rephrase that. I'm gonna tweak that statement a little bit. When my son was coming up, these new people, the way people are today and the way dudes are today, I will say this, it's a lot different. It's really different than when I was raising my son. So the men today don't act like the men of yesterday. Like I personally don't recall this ever being an issue yesterday. I don't. Before social media, I don't recall a single mom being an issue. Maybe it was, and it just wasn't being talked about in the circles that I was around. Because here's the thing, I have a huge family. I said this before. I have a huge family. Like, we collect kids. Like there are men in my family that don't have and did not have kids and ended up with a woman with multiple kids, still with her today. Kids are long gone and grown. So I know so many, and I've seen so many of these different variations of it. That's why I'm just like when I hear that statement, when I hear men say they don't date single women, I'm okay with that statement because I've seen so many men that do. Me personally, I've seen and I see and I know of more men that have dated women and have married women with kids than I know of men that say that they don't date women with kids. And I'll be honest, I've only met, I kid you not, off the top of my head, I can only think of one man that I know that did not date women with kids or did not like women with kids. Just one. Just one. But I like, and I know so many men, and so this, I I haven't, like, this is not a situation like I'm getting picking up a lot of this from social media, but in my personal life and the people that I know and the people I've been around, like I don't see this as an issue. Like, this is not an issue. And again, maybe it's because I come from a huge family. It's just, listen, it's kids everywhere. It was always some people, room full of people everywhere. When I say I come from a big family, I come from a big family. So we're not sitting up here talking about, oh well, listen, them kids come up in here. What we gonna listen? Don't bring them kids up here running around. They better get up here. Listen, fall in. But as far as sitting now, who's your daddy? You them ain't his. You can't. No, you can't bring that girl and her kids. We're not doing that. Like, we're not. But is a man wrong if he says that that's not for him? No, he's not. No, he's not. Again, like Rhonda said, maybe he just wants to start a family with the woman that he wants to be his wife. He don't want all this outside drama because let's be honest. Some situations, some baby mama, baby daddy situations are very messy and it's stressful. Who wants to be sitting up here arguing with a baby mama? She mad, she calling you all out your name because you're over here with her ex and her kids. And that be better not be about my kids. And that be better not touch my kids. And that be, so who got time for all that? Who got time for the baby daddy talking about some, you better not have my kids around that ninja. I know that ninja better not be around my kids. Like, who has time for that? So when I see people saying that they don't want to date somebody with kids, I understand. I understand. I respect it. There, fellas, there's no sass. If this is what your preference is, if this is what your standard is, stick to it. Because it's not for everybody. Like my son, I'm like, listen, he doesn't have any kids. Find somebody that don't have kids. If you know now, oh my God, Jay, how are you gonna tell him to find somebody that don't have any kids? As I said in the beginning, dating people with kids is a lot. So I'm not gonna make it seem like it's not. I acknowledged it and accepted when I was coming up through the ranks, and I'm going to acknowledge it and accept it for my son. It's a lot for my nieces and nephews. Listen, dealing with people that have kids, it's a lot. And if you are not a parent yourself, a lot of this stuff can be stressful. If you are a parent that does not have your stuff in your relationship and your co-parenting ish together, it can be a lot. And for a person that does not have kids, I don't understand why would you in your right mind stick or sign up for some ish like that. That's just something that I'm not going to have to sign up for. And if you don't have to sign up for it, then don't. But if you meet somebody and you all connect and you feeling each other like that, then listen, work it out. Then that may be a case where he's like, man, she got a kid, but man, I love her. So, man, I'm willing to work it out. I'm willing to love on the kid, you know, and I'm willing to, go the next step with her. That stuff does happen. But we got to be honest. Listen, coming to the table with kids, it's a lot. It's a lot because whether at first he was just preparing to, take care of just you and him. Now he has a third person that he has to be responsible for. Oh, he ain't got to be responsible for nothing. Listen, ladies, if you think like that, oh, I'm gonna take care of me and mine. I don't need nobody to take care of me and mine. Then you are not prepared to go you're not prepared to go the long call, and you're not looking at this situation as going the long call. Because here's the deal: any man that gets involved with a woman that has kids, let's just be real, unless you just a plaything, if you just a plaything or for something for him to do, then he's not worried. He's never worried about the future. He's never worried about it because you're just something for him to entertain. You're just something that he's playing with. And I don't want to sound harsh and I don't want to sound rude, so I'm not saying it in that fashion, but I have to say it so that we can understand it. If he doesn't see anything with you, then he's not concerned about you or your child, because he already knows that he's not going to be there to take care. He's not sticking around for the long haul. So he will never be worried about how he's going to do X, Y, and Z, because he already knows he's not sticking around. But for the man that sees a future with you, he is concerned about that. And he has every right to. So it's not fair for a woman to say, well, oh, he don't have to worry about my kids. I'm going to take care of my kids. Listen, you got it all wrong, sweetheart. Because if he's going to marry you, then he's going to be a part of your child's life, which means that he's going to be responsible for your child, emotionally responsible for your child, financially responsible for your child, physically responsible. He's going to take on all of that. You can't just put him in, because some of you all try to do this. You try to play house, and you don't have to do nothing for my kid. Huh? I'm a shop, I'm a buy everything, I'm gonna do everything. What kind of marriage are you? What kind of situation are you setting yourself up for? And listen, some of the guys, listen, you all get in these situations and they go for it and it worked for about a year or two, and then 2-3 years down the line, you need some shoes for your kids. And you ask him to buy it, and he's like, no. You told me that you got it. You said I don't never have to take care of your kids. Is he wrong? Is he wrong for telling you no, because you've already told him in the beginning he would never have to be worried about I take care of my own kids. I don't need nobody to do nothing for my kids. So now he finna make you stand on that. He your husband, but he making you stand on that because that's what you told him the agreement was. So now you want to get mad because he's not doing it. So let's not sign up for this foolishness. Rhonda, you're saying, "Ooh, girl, my ex's mother of his child was a piece of work," which is why I understand when dudes say they don't want to date women with kids. Again, I've seen good co-parenting situations, and then I have seen these folks that are a trip. So therefore, I say, listen, whatever side of the fence that people decide to fall on, I am okay. If you say you don't date women with kids, rock out. If you date women with kids, rock out. But at the end of the day, ladies, if a man tells you that up front, embrace it. At least you did not waste your time falling for this dude and knowing he didn't want to deal with a woman with kids. At least you didn't waste your time falling in love with him and all of this other stuff, trying to get him to change his mind. Or now you just sitting up here, you're suffering with him, for you're stuck, you're trying to hold on to him, but you're trying to keep him away from you. Like, it's just a lot of stress. So it's just like, if they tell you, listen, we're gonna rock out with that. At least now I know I don't have to worry about being up in somebody's face that don't want to be around somebody that has kids. Respect their decision. and keep it moving. Again, does it mean that you won't find anybody? As I said, in my opinion, I know more men that are with women that have kids than I know men that say they don't date or deal with women that have kids. So that's just from what I've encountered. Maybe you guys have encountered something different, but let me know what you all think. Do you all think, is a man sassy that says he don't date women with kids? Is he sassy? Drop it in the comments and let me know, because again, this lady is saying that men that say that they don't date women with kids are sassy. But again, I just don't, I don't buy that. But that will lead us to our next hot topic. Now listen here, because this same situation where women are saying, some women are saying, single moms are saying, he's sassy if he don't date no a woman with kids. Now watch this, ladies. Watch how hypocritical some of us can be. Okay, watch this. This next hot topic, next statement. What do you all think about this statement? This lady says, "No, chick, my man will not continue to be a stepfather to your kids once your relationship has ended. Once the relationship has ended, his relationship with your kids ends as well, because I'm in the picture now." What do you all think about that? Because, see, listen here, ladies. Now, we were just calling the men sassy because they don't want to date a single mother. They don't want to date no single mother. So now you done put them on the sassy list. Now I gotta add them to the list of the dudes that we're gonna be giving Victoria's Secret gift cards and pink gift cards out to for Christmas, because I do have I got a couple of dudes on here that I'm gonna be sending some Victoria's Secret cards out to. But it's not because they don't date women with kids. It's because they live in a sassy type lifestyle. So I just feel like they need some sassy underwear to go with the sassy attitudes that they have. And Jay, what's a sassy attitude? Every post you make, everything you say out of your mouth is bashing women. It's always a bash. You don't have nothing good to say about women. Those are the brothers that will be getting the Victoria's Secret and the pink gift cards coming up from me, for Christmas. So just know your name is on the list, and I will be sending out those gift cards. And when you get it, just know it's not for your girl, it's not for your wife, it's for you. That pink, because you have been real sweet and sassy, just talking crazy this past year. So I decided to reward you for the craziness that you've been talking. But back to this hot topic. What do you all think about this? The lady says, "No, chick, my man will not continue to be a stepfather to your kids once your relationship ends. When y'all break up, he break up with your kids too. Cause I'm in the picture now." What? What do you all think about that? Is that a true listen? Ladies, now be honest, we can talk. Are you like that? You in a relationship and you dating a man and you want him all in for your kids. But if you break up with him and he had a relationship with your kids, you still want him to have a relationship with your kids? Or would you say, you know what, Jay, when he break up with me, he got to break up with the kids? This is why I say it's a lot to date someone with kids. But what do you all think about this chick? She's like, his relationship ends with your kids as well. What if you all were married and you guys are divorced, but he was there with your kids ever since they were little, or at whatever point your ex developed a relationship with your kids, and now his new woman come in and say he won't be playing stepdaddy no more. I'm in the picture. I'm here now. Those stepdaddy days are over with. What type of foolishness is that? And fellas, are you sticking around? Has anybody ever dealt with this type of situation? Ladies, are you like this? Are you the type of woman that would say, you know what? If they don't have any biological kids together, I don't feel like he should still be seeing her kids. Because I know a few men that broke up with women and they still had a relationship with the kids. They still got the kids. They still took care of the kids as though they were theirs. How do you have a problem with that? Hey, Lord Tanae. Lord Tanae is saying that is totally selfish. Like the audacity. And I'm sure this is written by somebody that got a couple of kids that she gonna want him to be over there taking care of her kids, but she don't want him taking care of kids that he's already formed a relationship with prior to her. But again, this is why, in my opinion, it's always good to talk about this ish up front. Guess what? So that you can see what type of people you are dealing with. Now you know what type of woman you dealing with. You either choose to stick around and be around with her, or you can bounce. You can have her to bounce. But she's saying that, listen, I don't care how long you've been with them kids. Them your stepkids ain't none them those that's not your blood. That's not your blood. So you can't be over there. Chick, he not gonna be over there picking up your kid. No stepkids. He ain't doing nothing step. If they didn't come from his line, he will not be picking up your kids. He will not have a relationship with your kids. So you can cancel that movement right there. Not this one. You know why? Because he mine now. That's mine. He ain't gonna be spending no unnecessary money on kids that ain't his. What type of child? Lovey is saying, no, that doesn't work like that. Kids should not be broken up with. I could not imagine being without my dad. I totally agree with that statement, Lovey. How do you do that? It's like, what type of selfish, bruised chick are you that will come in and try to dictate to a man, telling him essentially, stop loving these kids? You're not going to have no relationship with them. You got to cut these kids off. Wayne, she was there with these kids before you were. Your place ain't even solidified. And you coming in thinking you running shots. Like, listen, let them come in and do this foolishness so that you can throw them out just as quickly. Don't think that they gonna change. This is how kids get hurt. When you put them in situations with people like this is how children get hurt. So always be mindful. However a person tell you they feel about your kids, listen to them. Don't try to convince them, oh, my kids are so good. Listen, only you love your babies. Ain't nobody gonna love your babies like you love them. And you better love them enough to protect them, because that's your job. Lord Tanae is saying you can't just walk away from kids that you have raised or been around for a significant amount of time. I will end my relationship with her. Absolutely. I'm just like, how do you, it's the audacity for me. I'm just like, listen, you ain't even a wife. You just stepped into the girlfriend role. And you coming in trying to tell this man he has to give up kids that he's loved on for so long. He has to give those kids up because you're in the picture. Honey, your seat at this table is not cemented in stone. You are replaceable. Always know that. So just always like to just sit back. Sometimes you just got to sit back and watch. Watch how people are going to move. Watch how people are going to talk, because that's the only way you're going to know what a person's true intentions are. And when you have somebody talking like this, baby, I wouldn't even trust this type of person around my fish. I promise you I won't. You can't look. You know your speed. Listen, matter of fact, I wouldn't even want you in my house because your vibes. Listen, you have to go saging and pimento sticking it and just all kinds of stuff to get those bad vibes and those bad jujus up out of there, because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, like I said, everybody has their preference. Ma'am, if this is your preference, don't get with a man that has a strong bond with some kids that are not biologically his. Now, you have a right to not entertain that, but you don't have the right to try to destroy a bond that this man has with the kids, especially if this is the only father figure that they know. How do you come along and try to destroy that? Like, get your whole entire life together. Like, get it together. Go find you a man that does not have any kids or that's not in this type of situation. That would be the solution for you. But it's, you don't get to come in and tell this man, oh, you can't you can't love on them stepkids. Ain't gonna be no stepdaddy in over here. Girl, bye. Okay? Go listen. Bye. Take that. Take your he can't stepdaddy and go take it and find you a man that's not stepdaddy. And because according to the previous post, there are men out there that are not into stepdaddy. So you have to find you a man that is not on that stepdaddy journey. But you don't have the right, like it was said, it's very selfish to sit there and say, you know what? I can't, you can't stepdaddy. I don't bring no stepdaddy ish over here. You can't, ma'am. No, you can say it, but are we gonna listen to it? Now that's a preference that you can kick rocks with that because again, you're trying to come and undo something that was established before you even existed. Like you were not even in the picture. And now you're trying to come and undo some stuff that you literally have no say so in. Now listen, guys. Ooh, child. Now this one right here, this is near and dear to me. What do you all think about this? And what's your position on this? The singer Monica says that she does not allow her children to attend sleepovers because of safety concerns. Again, the singer Monica is saying she does not allow her children to attend sleepovers because of safety concerns. What are you all thoughts on that? What's your position on that? Do you guys, if you have small children and children raising your children in the past, do you and did you allow your children to sleep over at a family member's house, at a friend's house? What are your thoughts on sleepovers? Because again, singer Monica is saying she does not allow her children to attend sleepovers because of safety concerns. So maybe it's safety concerns because she's a celebrity. She didn't elaborate on what the safety concerns were. So it could be because she's a celebrity, or it could because she just don't trust people. So let's just take it from the fact that she doesn't trust people with her kids and it has absolutely nothing to do with her being a celebrity. What are your positions on that? Do you all, is that an accurate statement? Do you all, is there some, do you kind of agree with this statement with Monica? Like, yeah, I don't agree. I don't do sleepovers because of safety concerns. And listen, I'll be the first to co-sign on that. I was the same way. I did not and don't do sleepovers for kids. I just, again, because it's so much going on. I mean, listen, yeah, you may feel like your kids are begging you, oh my, everybody gonna be there, all my friends are gonna be there, and this and that. And I will be honest, it does break your heart. It can break your heart sometimes when you see that your kid is the only one that is not at the sleepover and all their little friends are gathering over to the sleepover and they're all having fun and this and that. And because again, I've dealt with this, so I can understand from that standpoint. But I'm gonna tell you this: I stood firm on my belief that you're not spending the night. Listen, you have your own bed here. What do they have over there that you don't have here? Now they can say a whole lot of other stuff that they have over there that I don't have over here. But we not doing it. Hold on one second, y'all, because my live went off on there. Hold on. But we're not doing it over here. We're just going to keep it moving. But we're not doing no sleepovers. That's just what we're not going to do. We're not doing those sleepovers at the house because, like she said, for safety reasons, we're not doing it. So I totally understand and I totally agree. We're not doing sleepovers. We're not doing it because it's some foolishness. I don't want nothing to happen to my son, and I didn't want to happen anything to happen. I don't know. We're gonna have to check that out. I'm sorry, guys. My live went off on Facebook, but I'll finish this thought. I don't do sleepovers because, again, I would rather feel bad because, again, I felt bad because, man, my son, he can't go to the sleepover. All his little friends were over there and just all of this, like they're everywhere. And I'm so mad because they can't, he can't go. And, but then guess what happens? Months later, maybe even years later, you hear a story. Something has happened to one of the little kids at the sleepover. You heard me. Something has happened to one of the little kids at the sleepover. The big cousin done came in and touched one of the little boys that was at the sleepover. Touched one of the little friends. And now they have an issue to deal with. But since I didn't let my son go because I stood firm in what I believed in, he didn't go. And now I'm glad on one hand, but now I feel bad for the kid that this happened to. But it makes me feel I'm okay because it could have been my child. You all, it's so much stuff happens at these sleepovers, at these people houses. Because listen, everybody not right. Everybody is not right. Everybody does not have a good heart. They do not have a good heart. You don't know who's over here at these people's houses. You don't know the husband. You don't know any of those people. You don't know any of those people. Like, just, it's not a good idea. It's just really not a good idea to do that. Because, again, it could be a big cousin over there, a big brother. And when everybody sleep, listen, baby, they coming in and they doing stuff to these kids. Yes, they are doing foul, disgusting stuff that if you found out, somebody going to jail. Somebody going to jail because this thing is about to get ridiculous. Somebody's about to get hurt because of what goes on in these sleepovers. Listen, I've heard too many stories. Too many stories, too many heartbreaking stories on what has happened at these sleepovers, turned birthday parties, and this and that. It's so much stuff that has happened. And I'm not saying that it's happening everywhere, but I'm going to say this. I was not willing to take that chance. Not with mine. Not with mine. I was not willing to take that chance with my son's safety, with his well-being, with his peace of mind, because I said this. I could deal with the fact that you're upset right now because you can't go to the sleepover. I can deal with that fact. I can deal with the fact that you're upset about that. I can totally deal with that. But what I cannot deal with is coming back months later, possibly years later, and knowing that I gave up on what I said that I believe in, and I let my standard down, I let my guard down, and I let you go spend the night because, oh, you were pouting and I didn't want to see you sad. But now you're dealing with childhood trauma that could have been avoided had I kept you at home, like my first mind said. My first mind said, Don't send them over there. We're not doing sleepovers. We don't care what nobody say. We're not doing sleepovers. Had you listened to that first mind, then you wouldn't be in that situation. And that's not something that people, listen, that's not a situation that you want to be in, because here's the thing. Now you're going to be blaming yourself. Man, you're going to be beating yourself up. Now you're going to need therapy and counseling as well. Now, because you're going to forever feel guilty, feeling like, man, if I had just not let them go to the sleepover, like I said, I said I wasn't gonna let them go to the sleepover. But I gave over because, man, they were so sad and they were crying because all their little friends are there. Now, one of the little friends that was there had to go home and tell their parents that the big brother touched them inappropriately and did all these nasty things to them. Now that child is scarred forever, and you have to deal with the guilt. You, as the parent, have to deal with the guilt because you're saying to yourself, you're beating yourself up. Man, if only I had done and stuck to my first mind, if only I had said no, if only I had kept to that no. Now look what happened to my baby. It's my fault that this happened because I should have stuck to my first mind. You all, people do things, especially today. We are living in a day and time where there are some sick individuals. I always used to tell my son, I said, listen, it got to the point where I'm like, listen, ask me, can you spend the night over somebody's house again and see what happens? Because I got tired of saying no. And not only did I get tired of saying no, I got tired of seeing the pound puppy eyes. But what I would do, I told him this. But the next time, before you come and ask me, can you spend the night over somebody's house, I want you to ask yourself this. This is the measurement to ask yourself before you come to me so that you can already know what the answer is. And I used to ask him, I said, think about this is the question. And this is how you're going to know what the answer is. You're going to say to yourself, would my mom leave her purse with this person? And if the answer is no, then what makes you think I would leave you with them? You're more valuable to me than a purse. You're more valuable. You're more important. So if I'm not going to leave my purse with them, you know good and doggone well, I'm not leaving you with them. You have your answer right there. Before you even come and ask me, you already know what the answer is because you know what the standard is for spending the night. You know that the standard is, will she leave her purse with them? And if the answer is no, then the answer is no for you spending the night. And then guess what? We're all happy. But now we get to move on because now I don't have to entertain that question anymore. So when Monica said that, I totally felt that ish. I was able to relate to her answer saying, no, she does not allow her kids to spend the night over people's houses for safety reasons. I totally understand that. I'm totally on board with that because, again, I could not imagine if something happened. And here's the thing, me being an aunt of multiple kids, I don't like to have multiple kids spending the night. I just don't. Because again, you can't be watching it because even the kids, some of these kids are crafty little somethings, They some crafty little something. So you have to definitely be mindful of that because they're crafty. So you got to be mindful on letting these little kids, spend the night. But if I do get more than one child at a time, it ain't no more than 2, 3. I would say 3 is pushing it. Somebody gonna have to go home. Somebody getting sent back home via Uber Eats. That's all I'm gonna say. Somebody getting sent back home because my nerves can't take all them kids. But if I do, I always have it. It's in an open space and everybody sleeps in separate quarters. So we not all bunched up in the same sleeping quarter. Listen, you sleeping over here, you sleeping over here, you sleeping over there. And that will be the night that I don't get a lot of sleep because I'm like the warden. I get up and I'm walking around in the middle of the night just making sure everything is cool. I'm sleeping very lightly because I need to make sure everything is cool. That's just me. Why, Jay? Now, see, that's too much. I know things. I've seen things. I've heard things. And I'm not trying to have that go down on my watch. So if I do agree to, keep a bunch of little bundles of joy all at one time, then, just know we run a tight ship over here. But I prefer not to because, again, if I didn't put my son in that setting, then I'm not going to put somebody else's kids in that setting. But sometimes listen, even siblings, I don't want y'all all to listen because my nerves can't take it. If they want to get up in there and fight and tussle and flip all through the house, and listen, now I'll be ready. Everybody got to go. Get the dog, get the fish, get the bird, get the turtle. I don't care. Everybody got to go. I didn't even do it, Auntie. Everybody got to go. Good night, nurse. But no, Monica, I'm with you. I'm feeling you on that. We're not doing that spending the night thing. Guys, we're going to take a short musical break. And when we return, we have more hot topics to get into. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. You're listening to the Jaye Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families one conversation at a time. Yes, guys, we got this. Let me see what's going on. I don't know what's going on with this. This keeps on dying out. Yeah, guys, so I'm definitely with Monica on that. We're not doing the spending the night ish. We are not spending the night. You know why? Because I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Facebook, I'm sorry. I'm back. I don't know what happened. We're going to have to figure out what's going on with this ish because it keeps going out. But I'm back. But guys, yes. I can come back and work.
Ready?
Yep. But we're not doing those tonight.
You ready? 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to the Jaye Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families one conversation at a time. Guys, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor, you all. Go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe to our channel there. That's the Jaye Spot Radio. Go to Facebook, like and subscribe to our channel there, the Jaye Spot. Go to our Instagram, like and follow us there at the Jaye Spot, Jaye. Guys, tonight we are talking about how to recognize domestic violence. Whoo, you all listen. This is deep. Now look. We hope that the information that we share tonight helps somebody because unfortunately somebody under the sound of my voice is going through is currently involved in a domestic violence relationship, have survived one, or know someone that is. So if you or anyone you know are in an abusive relationship, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. Again, that number is 800-799-7233. That's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Now, what is domestic violence? Let's just start there. According to an online source, domestic violence is a pattern of behavior which involves violence or abuse by one person against another in a domestic setting, such as marriage or relationship or cohabitation. So notice that it didn't say a man against a woman against a man. It said Domestic violence is a pattern of behavior which involves violence or abuse by one person against another in a domestic violence setting, such as marriage, relationship, or cohabitation. You all, there are various forms of domestic violence, and we're going to get into a few of them tonight. But let me just start off by saying this. Let's A lot of times people will make it seem like it's so easy for somebody that's in a domestic violence relationship, in a domestically violent relationship. They'll make it seem like it's so easy for them to leave. You all, let's try to start operating with a little bit more empathy and sympathy, because it's not easy for people to leave. It truly is not, especially when there are multiple kids involved. It's not easy. You have to strategically plan an escape. You have to strategically plan how you're going to get out of this ish. You truly do. But again, there are various types of domestic violence. The first one is physical violence. That's hitting, slapping, choking, all this other, anything where you are pushing, shoving, anything that is physical, throwing something at people, that is physical violence. Then you have the sexual violence, pressuring the victim to be intimate when they don't want to, or to do things that they are not comfortable with, forcing them to be with other people, or refusing to use protection when having relation with them, or sabotaging birth control. That's a form of sexual violence. You have psychological violence, embarrassing or shaming the victim with put downs, calling them names, cussing them out. You ain't no good. You a dumb. You are no good B. You a dumb stupid B. Why you always in it? You a dumb ninja. Why you always? Oh, I hate you. You all listen. I wish you didn't exist anymore. I wish you listen. All this stuff that people say, and you ain't gonna never be nothing in life. You ain't worth nothing. You ain't valuable. You listen. You ain't valuable. Ain't nobody gonna want you. You ain't no good. You ain't worth nothing. You got all these kids. Ain't nobody gonna want you. Psychological violence. You done had all them kids. What man you think gonna want you? You a baby mama. You a single mama. Ain't nobody gonna want you. You done gained all that weight. Ain't nobody gonna want you. Psychological violence. You don't even have no money. You don't even make no money. You ain't no good. All you good for is just standing out there. That's why your mama didn't like you, and your granddaddy abused you, and this and that. Psychological violence. Anything that people say that they're saying to hurt you, to put you down, that's psychological violence. And psychological violence is so common. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you all. Sometimes you done been, and it's sad to say this, but sometimes some of us have been in situations that, listen, you don't even realize you're being psychologically abused, because you have been in, it's happened so often that you're just like, man, I ain't even gonna be sitting up here dealing with this. I ain't even gonna sit up there and go there with them. But it's not right. And you don't have to deal with that. Anything that is said to you that is designed to tear you down, you don't have to deal with this. And here's the thing. Abusers often try to make it seem as though what they're saying, they this is what today is what's starting to happen, what I'm starting to notice. Abusers like to say that what they're doing is holding you accountable. You see that? They like to think that accountability and abuse mirrors each other. It does not. Accountability is not abusive. Accountability is not a tear down. Know the difference. And you can't hold a person accountable. Accountability is for oneself. So for you to tell somebody that they're not worth anything because they got kids or because they don't have this or that, that's abuse. That's abuse. But if you say, listen, you got to focus on yourself and stop trying to go out here and meet these new people. You got kids that you got to take care of. You got to get yourself together. That's accountability. You're worthless. You this anything that is designed and said to tear at you your self-worth, that's abuse. It's psychological abuse. Emotional abuse. Acting in ways that scare the person they are abusing. You acting crazy. You come in, you punching holes in the wall. You tearing up the whole house, flipping the table over, tearing the furniture up, acting crazy in public, cussing them out in front of. You ain't touched them, but you coming in doing all of this crazy stuff that you know is scaring them and you know that it's intimidating them. That is emotional abuse. You got them on pins and needles because they so got doggone scared because they don't know what you're gonna do. Just the crazy is at an all-time high. Emotional abuse. Financial abuse. Listen, you controlling all of the money. They go to work, they got to give you their money, all their money. They can't buy what they want to buy. You get them a little allowance that is barely enough to do anything. You don't get them enough money to just do whatever it is they want to do like you are able to do. You have the right to do whatever it is that you want to do, but they have to come to you and get permission. But you can spend the money freely. But they have to, well, I need some money so I can buy some sanitary items, and I need to buy, I would like to get my hair done. Who you getting your hair done for? I'm the only one that you need to be worried about how if I like how you look and I think that your hair is fine. I think you look fine. Those type of statements, just like, come on. But you can go get your hair cut. You can go and do whatever it is that you need to do for you. And you don't have to check in or you don't have to get permission from anybody. But you require your mate or your spouse to go through all of these outlandish hoops just to get the basic necessities taken care of, or just to be able to have the opportunity and to be a full-fledged grown adult. You treat them, you got them, listen, like they're on probation. They got to answer to you, ask you for anything, ask you for everything, but you can go and do whatever it is that you want to do freely. So again, let's not let people make you think that accountability and abuse are the same thing, because they're not. Again, it's one thing to hold a person accountable, but again, at the end of the day, who are you to try to hold somebody accountable? Accountability, you can't hold a person accountable. Only people, you can only hold yourselves accountable. You can point out certain things that you may not like, but at the end of the day, it's up to that individual to make a change and want to make a change. You can point out the behavior, but you cannot make people change. It doesn't matter what you say. And we got to stop thinking that just because all this reckless stuff that people are saying, it's so we are living in a very, very verbally abusive day and time. Like, people abuse each other just on this app. They'll get on there. You have men verbally abusing women all the time. You have women verbally abusing men all the time. And it's just like, it's sickening. It's like it has to stop. But we've gotten to the point where it's so entertaining, or it just makes us feel good because we get to bash each other. But what are you teaching your kids? What are we teaching these young people? What are we teaching them? Young lady, listen. Young men, let me say this. Please listen to your auntie from another family member. There's a lot of young ladies out here that really need help, okay? There are. Because, first, let me say this. Young ladies, just because he does not hit you, don't mean that he don't love you. I've heard so many young ladies say that if a dude don't hit them, they don't love them. They don't like them. I can't be with nobody that don't hit me, because you got to show me that you love me. Hitting is not the way to show love. And I understand where that comes from. You may say, Jay, what you mean you understand where that comes from? I'll understand where that statement comes from. I understand where that mindset comes from. It comes from growing up in an abusive household, and that's all you see. So that's become her norm. Because if she's seen her daddy beating the brakes off her mother, and then the mother justifying it, she's internalizing it, and now she's learning that this is what's supposed to happen if a man loves you. Because my daddy was doing this, or my mama's boyfriend was doing this, and he loved her. They stayed together. See, they equate the staying together with love. But we have to unlearn that. We gotta go back to the drawing board. You have young ladies out here, these new young ladies. Why you not aggressive enough? You not aggressive enough. You gotta yell at me. You gotta choke me. You gotta hit. Whoa! If you hear that, fellas, young men, run. Run. Because you are about to step into a lifetime of 911 calls, jail visits, and all kinds of stuff dealing with a young lady like that. Because something's wrong with her. You may be a good dude, but she's comes from an abusive background. She's been abused, and you're not abusive. So now she's going to rub off, she's going to want you to abuse her, because that's her way of feeling as though you love her. But it's not. And there is no excuse. You should never put your hands on anybody, whether they're asking you to. You don't do it. Please know that is a red. Listen, that's not only a red flag, that's the whole container of red flags. That wanting them to hit you, these young ladies wanting you to hit them, because you all, it's real. A lot of these young ladies, they, this is what they're taking on. If a man don't hit me, if he don't choke me, if he don't slap, he don't want to be with me, he don't love me, I can't be with no end like that. Then, brother, you not the one for her. You got to let her find somebody, because trust me, it's somebody out there that's going to take her up on that offer. But just don't let it be you. Do not allow people to influence you and cause you to get out of your character. Don't do it. Young ladies, I know you may have saw this, and this is all you see. This is all you know. Your granddaddy was beating on your grandmama. Your mama was beating on your daddy. Your daddy was beating on your mama. And then you get with a dude, and y'all fighting on each other every day. You may feel like, oh, he not abusing me because I be fighting back. Even if you are fighting back, it's domestic violence. It's toxic. It's not healthy. You both need to part ways. If you are in a mutual, they call it when you both are fighting each other, it's called mutual combat. You are in a mutually combative domestic relationship, and you should both part ways before somebody seriously gets hurt. You should, it's like, it's always so crazy when you see people fighting. Listen, I've seen so many different scenarios, and listen, I'm a witness of being brought up in a lot of domestic violence. And that's why for me, I don't, like, my cutoff limit is like, it's really strong because I already know what I'm not going to deal with. So if I see signs of what I think could lead that way, then I'm quick to just, you know, avoid that. And that's the physical part. But let me tell you, this psychological part can creep in on you, and you be like, wait a minute, because I've had a situation like this. And one day I just had to say, wait a minute, who the F is he talking to? Like, I just like, because I had just gotten so, I'm like, because I'm not a combative person. I'm not. But I'm not a punk either. So it's like, there is no in between. I'm just like cool, and then it's 100. Like cool and then 100. That's where it is for me. And so it's just like, one day I'm just like, know, he really talking crazy. I'm just like, he he I said, he got me effed up. And I don't even cuss y'all. But I had to look up. I said, who? I said, no, I ain't gonna be able to do this. I say, I done been so wrapped up in my own world, I'm not paying attention to what's really going on, because it wasn't cursing. It wasn't physical. It wasn't financial. It wasn't emotional. But that crazy, that crazy, that put down, that you gotta be careful of people that's jealous, because men can be jealous of women, women can be jealous of men, and jealousy, listen, it can cause people to be domestically violent, because again, they trying to put you down when they're emotional, they're psychological. They're trying to tear you down as a person. So they trying to get here and tear you down. That's what it is. And so I'm just like, well, no, this probably not gonna work out, because you got some bigger issues to deal with. And I'm like, now that I'm paying attention and I tapped in, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to do this. And so I'm like, it's you can go ahead, we can part ways. We have, much invested, so it was, able to be a clean break. But what about people that can't make a clean break? Let's not make it seem like it's easy to leave these type of relationships, because it's not, especially when there are kids involved. People will say, she should leave him. Why she don't leave him? Where's she gonna go? She can go to a shelter, a homeless shelter. Do you know the type of situations that people have to deal with in these homeless shelters? It's a lot going on. And if you've never had to stay in a homeless shelter, or you never known anybody that stayed in a homeless shelter, think twice. Thank God, I've never had to stay in a homeless shelter. But I have heard stories, and I know people that have stayed in homeless shelters and staying in a homeless shelter with kids, you probably be better off staying with the abuser that you know. I'm just saying. So before saying, oh, she should leave, you got to understand a lot of these people are scared to leave. A lot of them are. Leave and go where? If they don't have, expect, listen, the more kids that a woman has, the harder it is for her to leave. Because guess what? Where is she going to go? Family ain't going to want to, listen, let's be honest. A lot of us, we're going to be saying, she ain't finna come over here with all four of them kids. They ain't finna be running, tearing up my house. So you leave her out there. We don't, let's be honest, we don't community like we supposed to. We don't have each other's back like we supposed to. We don't go to bat for each other like we supposed to. We really don't. But we'll be so quick to say what somebody should be doing, what somebody needs to do, but we not really standing up and going to bat for people like that. We're really not. So let's not make it seem like it's easy for her to do. Again, I want to say this again. I said at the top of the show, if you or somebody you know are in a domestic violence relationship, please call the domestic violence hotline at 800-799-7233. Again, that number is 800-799-7233 for the domestic violence hotline. Again, it's not easy for people to leave these type of situations, and you have to come up with a plan. And let's be honest, guys, times are hard. And guess what? You know what? When times get hard, people are pressed financially, people are pressed emotionally. Guess what they doing? They out here fighting, carrying on, coming against each other in the household. He getting mad because stuff ain't working right at the job. So now he coming home. He beating on everybody. He come beating the whole family up because he having a hard time at the job. He coming in just tearing some stuff up because it's hard. So we got to understand and recognize that, listen, this is a lot of things that triggers this. Triggers it. But is it ever justified? No. Keep your hands to your god doggone self. Keep your hands to yourself. You have no right to hit on anybody. This is not just for men. This is women hitting men. Keep your god doggone hands to yourself. You have no right to hit anybody. And a lot of women think that because you done hit him, you thinking that he can't defend himself. Ladies, he's just trying to respect you. But some of you all make it hard. I have seen some chicks that make it hard for a dude not to put her on her neck because you slapping him all around, you pulling his hair, and he's trying everything in him not to lay you out. But you just keep coming at him because you think you all big, bad, and tough. Fellas, get out of there. Please get out of there. And it don't make you a lame or weak or any. It don't make you any of that. In my opinion, it makes you more of a man because you were able to control yourself enough to not put your hands on this woman. Am I the type of woman that's gonna say, you know what, a man should never hit no woman? I'm not even gonna. Y'all take that on y'all own. I'm not gonna be the one to say that because I've seen some stuff that some of these women out here have done, and all I can say is, lady, had that been my son or one of my nephews, would I be saying this? Is, and that's why I always say this before before I answer it, I just say to myself, what was that? What if that was my son or one of my nephews or one of my brothers? Would I be saying the same thing? So that's why I say I'm gonna chill and I'm gonna lightly bypass that men shouldn't be hitting women statement. I'm gonna lightly bypass that part. So you all feel in however you feel on that situation. Because again, I've seen some stuff, and I'm just like, oh, this what this she trying to be like Master P said, bout it, bout it. Oh, she trying to be about that life. Okay, I'm gonna show her. At no time should we be hitting on Nobody. If you feel like you have to put your hands on somebody to get the results or get the reaction out of them or get them to behave or do something that you want them to do, that's probably not the relationship for you. If at any time you have to say things that, so you can control a person, that's probably not the situation to be in. Again, if you are in an abusive domestic violence relationship, you need help, call 800 799 7233. Again, that's 800 799 7233. You all please take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, peace out. Good night, you guys. Take care of yourselves. And don't be hitting on each other. Just keep your doggone hands to yourself. If you can't control yourself, get out the relationship. Good night, you guys. Bye. Bye, you guys. Thank you. Good night, guys. Take care of yourself.